Sharon, it's just fantastic that you can present with us at this mini iMoot. Is this your first presentation, Sharon, for us? I think it might be, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I've not done it before, so thanks for having me along.
Oh, our pleasure, and it's fantastic. We love people to sort of step out, I guess, of their comfort zone and have a really good try at presenting, and it's a great way to be using Moodle and Big Blue Button as well. So thanks, Sharon. I'll hand it over to you. Oh, yes, that's right, I forgot to say. Yes, and a fabulous person, of course, Scott knows you as well, of course, because we've been promoting that today too. Okay, Sharon, off to you. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Wendy, and hi everyone. As Wendy said, I've not done this before, so I'm pretty excited. And yes, Scott did rope me in. I am from TAFE, New South Wales, but I'm not here with my TAFE New South Wales hat on. I just thought I'd apply and give it a go, and it's certainly not TAFE hours. It's from Australia, as you may have guessed, and it's 9 p.m. here. So if you do hear my dogs go berserk, that's because there's fireworks going. There's some festival out here, and the dogs might go off berserk. And I've also got a terrible cold, I'm sorry. So if I have a coughing fit, that's what's happened there. But thank you so much for coming along, and I just can't believe you're from all different places of the world. That's so exciting. That really tickles me. So I'm an instructional designer, that's an online instructional designer and content developer, and I just love building stuff. So whenever there's a new software product comes out or someone will flick me a link, I've just got to start trying to play with it. And as an instructional designer, I'm in TAFE, it's the vocational educational sector. I'm constantly thinking of how that could be used and how we could use that in the classroom or online or blended, obviously. So all those applications and how they could be used. So that's what really excites me. And so I think there's even a few colleagues have worked out now. I just get these random links flicked to me like, oh, check this out. And they know I'm going to go home on a Friday night or something and start playing with it and building stuff and come back on Monday and like, look at this. And they're like, oh, great, how was it? So I think I don't mind. I know it's happening, but it's fun because I really do enjoy it. And that's for me too, in my workplace and outside of work, I'm able to then give a bit of an understanding of when someone says, what's this product like or what's that product like? Because really notice that in a large organisation, I mean, I've found it since I stopped teaching, there's some of the student systems, I don't know anything about them anymore because I'm not using them because I'm not teaching anymore. So it's very hard for people as they move up in the organisation, not that I'm moving up, but as other people are moving up in the organisation, they don't get to experience that. So it's really great to have someone that can sort of just go, oh, try this. I have to try something. You know what it's like. You see a product and you read the blurb and it's often not accurate. So you really have to get it and give it a go. So I started playing with H5P about 12 months ago and was just really tickle pink with it. And so it's a open source, free, mobile responsive HTML5 output, just a little content thing. It's just such a simple little thing to use, and that was the beauty of it. And it's just evolving and evolving all the time. And I've had some Skype sessions with the guys from Jubal who are heavily involved in the development of it, and they're in the Netherlands. And that was another time lap. 11 p.m. over there is 8 a.m. here, so that was the time we worked out we could have some Skype sessions to really take that a bit further. So now this folk man is just a colleague of mine. Emily is fantastic, and she's and I'm just checking the list. Phew, she's not here. I was hoping she was going to come along. She's just wonderful, and we actually just set up a platform out on our own to trial this stuff because we didn't want to break. You can imagine how popular we'd be if we started playing and broke the TAFE system and crashed it. we wouldn't be very popular at all. So that's what Folkman is. Now, I actually built my entire presentation in my own Moodle in Folkman and in the website, and then realised that it was probably preferable to do a PDF. So then I thought I'd trick you all that it was like a web thing instead of screencasting, and then realised that wasn't going to work either when I uploaded the PDF. So please don't freak out when you see it's 75 slides. I promise it's not going to be death by PowerPoint. It'll look like a website. Just pretend it's a website. And please, I'm completely goldfish as far as if you've got any questions at any time, please pop them in the chat pod, and I can assure you I'll be flicking and seeing that as well. And I know there's people there to help me too, so don't hesitate to ask questions as I go. Okay, so let's go. So that's this was where I was going to trick you all and go up here, but I need to go down to the arrows at the bottom. We've been playing with a few things, H5P Moodle and augmented reality. And here's the Moodle that I built on for the iMoot. So this is what I was going to cover tonight was, whatever time zone it is for you, it's tonight for me, was how to create using H5P, which is really so simple. And then now there's a plugin for Moodle, so how to incorporate into your Moodle, and then show some examples of how I've used it and some of the things you can do. There's just so many different options, and I've also put a lot of links on the presentation page of the Moodle for iMoot. There's probably about 10 links there of some examples of H5P things that I've created in that Moodle. So you can play with those as well. And I'm totally open for questions or emails at any time. So this is one I did as far as content development, it does call itself, yeah, Gemma's saying there, I was surprised how simple it is, to be honest. It really is. This is very simple. So we've been looking in my workplace for a content development tool for a long time, and I'm finding, like, it's, as far as what I'm finding it really strength is formative assessments, activities, sorry, not assessments. So it certainly can be used for the summative assessments, but I'm finding that formative activities where they're just a really great thing. There's certainly some other products, and I've tried many other products as far as content development. If you've got a lot of content, which we all know you shouldn't really have, it does struggle a bit with that, with how much you can actually put on a page and make it work. But, you know, we're all creative. It is amazing what you can do. So I've created this little 4-page, this is actually created in H5P and put into the Moodle, how to create using H5P. So, and these are in the links as well for the Moodle on the iMoot page, so you can look at these yourself, and those links will work on there. So basically h5p.org, that's it. You create a free account. There's examples and download pages because it's all open source. It's just wonderful. And yeah, I'll come back to the Moodle thing, but there's a whole, like, accordions, multiple choice, many things, some you mightn't have even considered. And for me as an instructor, my brain just explodes on how I could possibly use that. So yeah, it's really great examples, and you can even download them and or clone them and start just changing them because it's all open source. So then you go to your account page and create new content. Oopsie, I tricked myself. I was trying to click the arrows on my H5P. I'm just too clever. To create content, this is just on the screenshot on the right side there. And can you read that? Is it too small? I was thinking it might be a bit small in this environment. I'm not 100% sure what your view is there. So if someone can tell me in the chat pod if that's just a bit small. Can see. Thanks, Wendy. Oh, great. Thank you very much. Yes, when you play with it or look at the links in the Moodle, the iMoot Moodle there, they'll open up beautifully for you. So thank you, everyone, for saying that's okay. So those numbers are just alluding over here. This is sort of what it looks like on the H5P side. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the Moodle as well. This is in H5P. You give it a title, and then you select the content type, and I'll show you on the next slide all the different ones there. And then these 4 tick boxes here are important as when you, and it's really one of those things where you just get in and start playing. And it took me a while. I ticked and unticked to work them out. But you realise you need the embed and download button on there, because I thought, oh, I'm going to untick those. I don't want anyone to pinch it or whatever, which is not in the theme of open source, I realised. But then, of course, when I then viewed it, I had no download or embed button, so I couldn't download or embed it. So, yes, you put those in there and then you can play with it. And then you just save it. And so that's a close-up there of those buttons. This is when you pull down that select content type. These are all of the options that you get to choose. Now, I'm going to give a really good tip here. If you haven't played with it, yes, Mike's saying there was a lot of chatter about H5P at the Australian recently. One of my colleagues was over there and they were all talking H5P. One tip if you do start playing with it, and I'll show you why later, there's one there called course presentation, and it's a slideshow, and that this one that I just showed you with the ones where I tricked myself, that's done in a course presentation. It's almost like a PowerPoint that allows you to put in different things on the slide pages, and there's an extra bonus for doing something in a course presentation if you want to do that way. I've done 12-page quizzes where, you know, each page is a different multiple choice question or type of question, and I start in course presentation and then I can build them on each of the pages. And as I said, there's another benefit for doing that coming up that I'll show you in a minute. That's a bit of a trick. Then once you save it, it comes up and you can view your content or edit it, or you can clone it. This is still back over on the H5P site, and you can download or embed it. And it's saying there you have to tick it to have those options, obviously. Then if you download it, you're basically just downloading it like any other file, but it's just a .h5p file. So I can download, I've got 4 H5P files on my portable hard drive, which I've been carrying around today, and just like any other file. I can't open that on my computer here, but if I upload that onto the Fockman or the iMoot site, then they will work because the plugins are in there. So it's just a file that you can just download and email to somebody and upload somewhere else. I've been playing around too with, I'll show you in a minute, that putting one on H5P, downloading and then uploading somewhere else. Then when you embed them, if you say embed, it pops up. It's so easy. You just copy the code. There is a hint, and there's another example coming up. In the width, I don't change it there where it's got the size here. I copy this code. When I paste that HTML in a label or a page in Moodle, I change the width in the code to 100%, just because then it does size really nicely. Because it's defaulted at about 1024 or something, I think, the width. Okay, now I know I'm doing a lot of all the talking, which is, if you've got any questions, please pull me up or speak up or put in the chat pod. So that's just one tiny example of when you've actually saved a piece of content. This is just a single choice one that comes up like that. It's just so, I mean, that looks a bit weird with the long thing, but it's just so beautiful if you can scale it on the mobile. It's just so responsive and it just flicks around and you can see the download or embed there. Okay, so second part was how to incorporate in the Moodle. So they've now got plugins for Drupal, WordPress and the Moodle. And on our Folkman site, it's actually a WordPress site because we wanted to play with putting the plugin in the WordPress site. So easy, just like installing any other plugin. Search for H5P, insert the plugin into WordPress, and then it's just down the list on the left. You can create or upload H5P activities. It's just really easy. And I've got here too, oh sure, sorry Gareth, I'll turn off my webcam. There's a request for that. That's no problem at all. Okay, let me know if that's better, Gareth. Sure, I understand that. I was in the country until about 3 months ago, and I'm enjoying my better internet. But I totally get that, so that's no problem at all. And I've got here too, there's step-by-step instructions on the h5p.org site, very simple. And I've got there, or find an Emily, because Emily, my colleague, she's just fantastic with all that stuff, what I call the behind-the-scenes stuff, as far as putting it into the Moodle, but she did it into our Moodle. Okay. So that's just what the documentation page looks like on H5P. It's just set up, click on there, and it walks you through it very clearly. It's that simple. You can see plugins, install plugins. I thought I'd be quite clever, and which doesn't often come off, of course. And I had a Moodle Cloud one, but because like it was as a free version that you can't install the plugins, so that's when Emily and I went, well, let's just create our own thing with Folkman and start playing, and that way we were able to install the plugins that way. So just follow your nose and follow the steps through. And I've got here Vinnie. Thank you, Vinnie, because that was 2 days ago, and I realised, oh my gosh, and I was in Sydney, and I realised I was supposed to upload. It was actually, I didn't realise what I was doing the links, putting the links in. I thought, oh wow, I'll put some H5P links in there, and then I was able to. I just emailed Vinnie and said, can you please install the H5P plugin into the Moodle? And he went, done. So thank you very much for that. Welcome back, Gareth. Can you just mute for us, Gareth, please? A scary photo. I'm glad that was you that said that, Vinnie. Thank you, Gareth. Good. I'm glad you're back. Okay. So once you have a Vinnie or an Emily, or just walk through those steps of your own Moodle, you guys are Moodle experts, I'm sure. I'm not. Then when you basically go add an activity, and you can see this is the iMoot one, add an activity, it's there now. It's there to add interactive content. So clicking on that, and I've done the steps through here. Give it a name, just like adding any other Moodle activity. And then here you're going to have two options. You can upload or create. So that's where if you've downloaded a H5P file from the H5P server, then you can actually upload it here very easily. Or you can now create it in your Moodle once you've got the plugin installed. And it's just choosing a file, uploading the file, picking a file. See, it's going to trick you all here. And then the file's uploaded. You get those ticks here again. Now, the embed is not there. And there is still, because it's all rolling as it comes out, there's a couple of little bugs that they're still rolling out and fixing and asking for feedback and for people to help, get that rolling. And one of those is actually being able to, within the Moodle, embed it in there. So you can trick it a bit. You can create in there, and I'll show you some of the ways that I've done that. So there's one there. That's the one that I uploaded. That was sort of a series of screenshots that I put in there, and that was a bit of content. How to pick up an echidna. We are very Australian. So that was just a screenshot there of them talking about, if you head over any problem you've got, or think anything you hit, you can just go there. They're so responsive. I found that's Thomas Mars there is from Jubal, and the guy, there was another guy who's left there now, but they're just all over it when you put in a request or an issue. And I remember talking to them 12 months ago about the Moodle, and that's where they're saying people are working on, we're working on it, and they were just giving me updates all the time. They're fantastic. And other people help you, obviously, because it's open source and community. So, for example, this one, I actually went because I went, I can't embed it in the Moodle because that functionality is not there yet. So I went and created it over in H5P on there. Then I downloaded the H5P site and uploaded it. There's the embed thing. Embedded it. I didn't download it. And then I created a label in the iMoot Moodle. And then I went into the code, pasted the code in. And that's the iframe there where I said that's where I've changed the 1 to 100%. I just go in and change that, and that way it just scales really nicely. We were having sort of pop-up windows of activities, and as soon as it went smaller, they were not scaling. So now it does it beautifully. That's just a little trick when you do that. Save and return to course. So now that's showing you what that looks like on that iMoot page. Now you'll see those in the links. That's actually been embedded in there. Okay. Oh, now, hang on. I'm seeing a frowny face. Oh, Gareth, keep getting reconnecting issues. Turns on my mic without noticing. That's fine, Gareth. Yep. Like I say, I completely understand. I've been out bush. And that's just showing that same one in there. So there's whole different, part 3 was just to talk about quickly in the last part before open up to questions or whatever, is just some different things that you can do. And like I say, I did test the screen share, and it was just going to be too icky. And luckily, because I know if you're on the other end when someone screen shares, you just drop off completely. So this is great. So these are some things that I was mucking around in, and also how I've put them in the Moodle. As you can see, this one's a page, this one's in a label, these ones are just added as activities there, which will open up as a link. So for those that aren't Aussies, like Wendy and I, we have an animal called an Echidna, who is just gorgeous but very, very spiky, and they often get on the road or tunnel in near a shed, and they have to be moved. And so it's always a little funny thing I muck around with when I'm doing some, sample content, is how to pick up an Echidna. I was actually a ranger for 12 years, so it's just a bit of a funny joke. Here's choose your tool. This is like a hotspot thing in this activity, and these are all in the iMoot in the links there. You can click on the set of pliers, you click on these and it goes, no, I'm sorry, that's wrong, that's wrong. You click on the pliers and it goes, that's right. So just a very simple example. This is a hotspot activity where you touch the frog and you get all of these opens up beautifully with slide out pages and pop-ups where you can put content and information in there. This is a screenshot, and like I said, the video activity is in the links on the iMoot presentation Moodle. But you can, this is great if anyone's used Edpuzzle, I think it is. There's a couple of different ones. There's one that just stopped doing it recently. There's about 5 where you can do the interactive activities. Once I made a video of doing how to embed that activity, and then just use that video as you embed it as a video activity in the H5P. Fantastic, because it basically, you press play, the student press play, comes along, and these purple dots, every time it gets to a purple dot, that's going to pull up, it stops the video, and you can change all those settings. You can say stop or keep playing. It pauses the video and up pops whatever you put in, whether it's a multiple choice or some information, a link. Really great. So I just did a course recently, a gamification course on Coursera, and I worked out pretty quickly that when the videos, I could see those spots. It wasn't done in H5P, but it was a similar program, obviously, and I could see the spots, and I'd put up a video and go, there's a couple of activities coming up, and I can tell you, I consciously noticed that I was paying more attention to the video, because I guess I'm just competitive and I wanted to get the questions right. So rather than just having a normal video, yeah, it's a really great way, because you can put the video in there and create it how you want it. And you can change a lot of different settings. So you just play with it and trial and error and see how you go. This would have been great if it was live, and that would have crashed. Poor old Gareth would have gone. Motivation, that's right, Trish, very much so. That was just a simple music clip. You can add in an audio clip and obviously voice. And that was the learner guide that I did. So because I was really playing to try and see whether we could have not a significant amount, but content, not just, activities, I did muck around with it quite a bit for a while to see. So this is one, and you can see this is a course presentation. See how it's like 14 slides. So that's where using that H5P course presentation one is helps. Sorry, it's getting late over here. It's been a big week. So really, the way I've done that there, just so you know, and when you start playing with it, you'll see. Like I say, it's not like I've used, eCoach, Easy Generator. There's so many different ones where you slap the content in and it just makes it look beautiful. It doesn't have that same functionality there, where this really is. I put the grey background and I put in a white box and I put in this image, and it's got H2 and you can bullet point, that sort of thing. So it's quite basic for doing text content, but you can see you can really make it do what you want, but you're not going to be it's not what it's designed for, but you can make it do that way. So this is my how to pick up an Echidna one. Where aren't they beautiful? They're called puggles if you're not an Aussie, the little babies. how to approach an echidna. This is the content. I hope you're not reading it because it really is quite amusing. But it actually is true. You do pick them up with a pair of thongs on your hands is the best way. Pop them in a bin because they'll scratch out. And then this one, it goes into quiz time. So now I've put in different activities. Obviously, this one's a multi-choice one, and the student just clicks on them or taps on them. You know, it's just beautiful on a phone. This stuff, it really is. And excuse me. Then they check, and that's saying yes, you're correct. This one here is filling in the missing words. This one's an interesting one. Click on I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's pick the words or something like that. So click on the 5 words that best describe this topic, and then they can check their answer. No, that's right, that's wrong, show the solution, retry. And then on their last slide of this one, which had 5 different activities in there, they're getting a % score. That was me, I just ran through and didn't answer some of them. Show the solutions or retry. But the one thing, and this is what I was saying about the course presentation, and because I was looking at so many different authoring tools over the last probably 18 months, I was so excited when I saw this. When you do course presentation, this print button pops up. And for everyone that's an online resource developer, we know, and I had this discussion with someone yesterday, if you can offer a print option, that's fantastic, because there are still very many people that want to be able to print it, no matter what it is. So that pops up when you put it in that course presentation. So you can go on print all slides, print current slide, and it pops up, like just puts like the 1 slide per page, but you're talking about the end user, the student is, if they want to, they are able to print it. Also press print to PDF. Thanks, Gareth. Yes, of course. This looks so much better than the lesson module. Oh, right, Andy, yes. As you can see here, I'm just giving screenshots of how it will pop up on each page. If they've answered the questions, it'll show it just like that. If they haven't, it will actually, you know, the print is showing that if they could, I mean, if you were a teacher or something and you wanted to do a quiz and print it off, you could print it off and hand it out in class if that's what you wanted to do. Don't tell me that you're going to do that. And score. Thanks, Mike. Can I mute my mic? I don't know if that's going to work, Gemma. Will you be able to hear me? Oh, okay. Is it too loud? Someone is talking through it. That's me. My dogs are barking. Okay, sorry, I'm going to push on. I hope it's okay. All right, it's your PC. It's not me. Okay, well, it is me. I'm sorry. You can't hear anything? Can you hear me, Wendy? Okay. Okay, great. All right. We'll push on. Great. All right. So this even shows the results here. You can see it's whatever they've done in that course presentation. So that was a real bonus. It struggles with dealing with a lot of text. You know, it's not really designed for that. You will struggle with that, but it has that. That's a great functionality in there, and you could even print that off and, you know, hand in the results sheet or something like that. Anyway. So this is just an accordion one, and that's quite a new activity in the H5P. Like I say, every time I go there, I'm like, oh, they've got a new one, because people are building them and submitting them all the time because it's all open source and community based. It's fantastic. The accordion is giving that a lot better option for dealing with bigger content. I'll come to that, Mike. That's a great question. I'll come back to you, Gemma, as well. We'll park those ones, but yeah, the accordion is giving that option to be able to deal with a little bit more content. So it's certainly, there's people obviously working on that, you know, bit slight limitation there, I'll call it. And the beauty of the accordion too, because in that course presentation, yes, that looks good and I've done that up, but because I'm a mobile education evangelist, that will shrink. And you won't be able to read that because it's like a PowerPoint, you know, that shrinks down. But with something like this accordion, when you're really using that sort of that native activity of the H5P, like this accordion, beautiful, just snaps and does whatever it's meant to do on the mobile. Looks fantastic. Okay, and that's put in the Moodle as a page. This is put in the Moodle in a label. And yeah, another one in there, just in the actual description, I put that one in there in the Moodle. So here it's saying, oh, sorry, I just had a thing pop up on my screen. Yeah, just typical accordion thing. Okay. So, oh, there's a blank slide, and this is my last one. Now, Mike, it says question time, but I am going to come to the chat pod. But before I do, a couple of things I'm going to had written down to mention might answer some of those as well. So the first, I've already mentioned about the limit. Oh, there's a limitation at the moment, which is noted on the site about when you back up and restore a Moodle, that I don't think the H5Ps are coming across with that. So just that they're saying someone's working on it. And now, yes, it does integrate with Gradebook. Now, and it gets tracked using X API. And I've written that down because that's a little bit Greek to me. Because I'm not teaching in the Moodle, I'm building stuff and doing that. But I have written that down because I looked that up because I know that's really important. So it is doing that. And the embed as well, I showed you that. They're also working on that. There is also, I noticed, I scanned through the forums today, and there was someone saying it would be really great if I could have my students create something in H5P to submit as an assessment. And that was like, whoa, that's a good idea. And a lot of people going, that's great. There was obviously implications with that of having it switched on or off and how they do that in the Moodle. And obviously, you know, the guys at Jubal, for example, they're H5P guys, and a lot of the people going, hey, we're Moodle people, can you do this? And they're like, I don't really know how that works. So, but they're just, like I say, they're so responsive, and the community's helping. It's that if you're a Moodle expert and, or, you know, enthusiast of that, I'd really encourage you to join the community and get involved, because they're just great. They're just working on so many things. I'm just going to check the chat pod before I just throw it open. Now, Gemma, do you think it's a good replacement for the score modules made in, by example, Articulate? It depends what you're trying to create, Gemma, is what I'd say, because some of those programs, like I say, they do deal with a lot of content better, but again, we shouldn't be delivering a lot of content. We should be trying to carve it down and deliver smaller chunks anyway, but just depends what you're wanting to do with it. I wouldn't say get rid of every content development tool you have and use H5P. Like I say, I'm finding its strength is really in the activities and assessments. It just looks so great, but I can see that people are developing stuff. Like I said, the Accordion sort of just popped up recently. So there's going to be a lot more there. And like people are saying, it was really talked a lot about at the Moodle forum over in Perth recently. Now, Mike Scott, does it push anything to Gradebook? Yes. Someone at Moot said it didn't, but I looked at the older version. It appeared to have Gradebook options, but not sure what it sends back. Yeah, Mike, like I said, it's something my colleague Emily would be able to answer in a flash, and I'm certainly can certainly ask her and come back to you if you want. But on the forums, they're talking about it, and there's people that know about that stuff. And because it's evolving so quickly too, that's the thing. When I actually did put the plugin in, the help information in when you put plus in the H5P activity, the help information was already a little bit out of date. It was sort of relating to the beta release before they rolled it all out. So it is just developing so quickly. And I'm sure you could create a custom role in Moodle to allow that. So Vinnie's all over it. So that's probably brings me to stop talking for a minute, have a drink, and ease my voice, and I'll open it up, please. Yeah. No questions? All good. It'd be lovely to show you, yeah, have a play, Tricia said. It'd be lovely to show you building some and how easy it is, but it's like a lot of these programs now and a lot of this software. I was showing someone how to use Google Sites the other day, and that's right, I was asked to go over and show him how to use Google Sites. And literally, I went over there and got his account set up, and got him, we redirected his emails from the domain so he'd get his emails. And then once we got into the Google Sites, I just sort of went, well, see the big plus button? And he was a smart guy, and he just went, yep. And he's just like, plus, add a text box, add an image. It's just like H5P. They are just so easy to use now that you don't need a training course or to read through pages and pages of how to make it work. You just open it up and start playing. It's really worth it. Yeah, thank you. That's right, Mike. It really does. The applications, and like I say, yeah, same. I'm instructional designer. I just start going, I can do that, and I can do that, and you can do that. So it's really, really great.
Sharon, I'm just going to jump in here and say thank you so much. There's so much to look at and think about, and it looks like everyone's going to leap straight into it and start having a good look at it, and how they can use it and how it can actually sort of, yeah, that's right. There's just so much in that, and it was just fantastic. I just can't thank you so much. It was brilliant as your first session. I think incredible. There's a special clap for that. I definitely think you need to be an iMoot presenter in the future. So we learned so much from it. Don't forget that if you need to ask Sharon questions or get more information from her, that you can always go to the forums and have a chat with her in the session forums. Thank you so much. I'll keep this open for just for a little bit longer for questions, and then we'll shut the room soon. Thank you, Sharon, again.